How's it going? Nice to see you. The best. How have you been taking me?
It does its thing. Once a week, it's beautiful. That's it.
I love
After I wash it.
it. This is gonna be your seat here.
Hi, my name is Marell. I'm 27 years old and I'm from Toronto, Canada. So I am a two-time cancer survivor. I was first diagnosed with leukemia back in 2013 when I was 19 years old. And unfortunately, I relapsed in 2018 at the age of 24 years old. Being diagnosed with cancer, I mean, like, the obvious image of cancer is being bald, losing your hair. Being 19, I had no idea what leukemia was. I didn't even know what an oncologist was. So I remember being diagnosed and knowing that I had cancer, and my first question was, it wasn't even about prognosis, it was, does all chemo cause hair loss? Like, I didn't even ask if I was gonna live, if I was gonna die. My first kind of reaction was, how long am I gonna be bald for? And those physical changes, just cancer brought about so many insecurities that I really struggled with, and I didn't anticipate, and I'd never had experience with mental health issues. So obviously there's the hair, you lose the hair. Everybody there's this attachment to our hair in our society. It's kind of the norm to have hair on your head. So that really, really bothered me. I could not leave my house without a wig. I couldn't go to the hospital where it was the norm to be bald. I couldn't go to the hospital without my wig because I was just so uncomfortable with myself. I used to be this social butterfly. Like, I used to be friends with everybody. So now that all these physical changes were happening, I didn't look like myself. I didn't feel like myself until I slowly started to lose value in myself. And I was just so disgusted by my reflection. Like, I remember looking at old pictures and just being so emotional and saying, like, who is that girl? Like, I wish I could talk to that girl and just tell her that everything was gonna be okay, and you're so dumb to be so insecure about the things you were insecure about. 'Cause my scar, I have a scar here where there is a port to distribute my chemo and my medication. I was so embarrassed of that scar too, and now I look at that scar and I'm like, that scar got me through so much. I need to appreciate this more, but there's definitely a toll on mental health when you're experiencing physical changes, when you don't feel like yourself, when you feel like you can't present yourself because you're just so uncomfortable in your own body. It does take such a big toll that I did lose value of myself. I felt like I lost my personality, my sense of humor, who I was. It was just such a hard time for me. You know, you get regarded as strong a lot when you're going through cancer, and I felt the antithesis of that. I felt like I couldn't get a hold of what I was going through because I was depressed and I was anxious and I was hiding that. You need your supports. You need other people to kind of push you to do these things and just feel like yourself and take care of yourself and go for a walk, get out of your bed. A lot of time I would do masks at home just to make me feel better, do my nails. Sometimes when I'm feeling down, I do my nails and it makes me feel good. And that helped me embrace my baldness too, because people knew what I was going through. I wasn't hiding it anymore. I wasn't in secret about my cancer. I was open about it, and I was like, this is me. This is my baldness. Welcome to my world. So a lot of the times too, I feel like keeping in touch with the things that make you feel whole. So my friends, my family, the people who see me for me and enjoy my company and make me feel comfortable to be myself, my weird, awkward self, that keeps my mental health intact. And I think that is so important. It's so hard because honestly, I don't always succeed in doing that. Sometimes you just have your bad days, and sometimes I am.
It's okay.
And it's okay.
Right?
It's
Yes.
okay.
It's okay to have bad days.
And I feel like there's this, especially in the hustle and grind culture, I feel like it works under pressure where you feel like you have to get up every day, and if you're not making these dramatic choices, that you're not working hard enough and you have to suck it up and just do it. And that's so toxic. And sometimes too, I just don't feel like it. And sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm not feeling myself and my skin's flaring up, and I'm reminded of my circumstances. I'm reminded that, my radiation, the chemo made my skin so sensitive or brought on these stretch marks, and I'm uncomfortable, and sometimes that's okay. I just need to sit and feel with that emotion, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then tomorrow I can get up again and maybe I can feel better. I feel like you have to create this space for yourself where you see your reflection and you feel comfortable in the space that you're in. I think that's so important too. There's many times where I had to deactivate my social media. It was just too much for me. And aside from just all these visuals of things that were not attainable for me at that moment, of just the social life, the physical things, it took a toll on me, and I really had to take a break. I really had to just circle in on myself and say, you know what, these are not doing me a service right now. These are having a negative impact on me right now. I need to take a break. So, and there's no, you know, some people use makeup as a form of expression and, you know, creativity, and that's powerful. But I think when it comes to a point where you realize it's kind of intervening in who you are, like what your norms are, what you normally do, that's when you have to stop and kind of reflect. And I feel like a lot of the behaviors I was engaging in, which was contouring or just doing my hair every single day, was also a reflection of my place. And I realized then too that a lot of my behaviors weren't in alliance with who I really was, like on the inside. If social media is impacting you to the degree, for example, of not just contouring, but where it's making me uncomfortable, and I'm seeing all these influencers, and every time I see them, I'm going to the mirror, and now I'm nitpicking myself, and now I want to change this, I want to do that. That's when you need to take a moment and say, okay, is this me? Like, is this like in alliance and mirroring my core values and who I feel like I am, or is this clouding myself as now I'm getting more uncomfortable? So yeah, we have to just be okay with like posting our true selves, and it takes work, but it's something we can work towards. There definitely needs to be a lot, and I think we're working towards a lot more transparency, like having these open conversations, having these uncomfortable conversations. There's certain like beauty industry and companies that aren't reflecting this kind of transparent diversity and openness, have some catching up to do. But for the most part, I think it's happening. It's happening with My Beautique here today. So I think we're on our way. Yeah. I think especially as women, a lot of us rely on beauty services, like grooming our brows, for example. That's a very, very common one. And I kind of relate it to cleaning up your room. You know, when your room's a little bit messy and you tidy up a bit, you feel refreshed, right? You feel good. I think I get that same feeling when I have a fresh set of brows. You know, you feel good, you feel refreshed, you feel rejuvenated, you feel new. And I think that does, for the most part, that does make me feel good. And I feel like there's no better feeling than when you kind of clean up your brows. But at the same time, I'm not like hating my reflection when my brows aren't groomed. But know that I can't get carried away to want all these little things to do to adjust and enhance my beauty. But at the same time, I do feel good for doing certain products and services. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. As long as you have practiced that self-reflection where you know what your intentions are, and that you're on check with yourself to not get too carried away where you don't need to spend a tremendous amount of money on things that you don't really need to do. I think that's important too. Again, because I'm looking through social media, I'm also researching things that I can use, products that I can use, but you have to stop and think, like, I'm not normal right now. I'm going through treatment, and these people that I'm seeing on social media are quote unquote normal. And it sounds so weird to say that, but I thought of that a lot, normal versus not normal, and I fell into the category of not normal. So exactly, I have to wait until I'm better, if I get better, to do anything about my situation. And
that takes a toll up here.
I'm gonna hide in my room, I'm not gonna go out, and that's when the social anxiety creeps in, where you just feel like I'm gonna wait until I'm better, and it's no way to live. Immediately, I thought of recalling a physical appearance, like a physical trait. And I struggled a bit, if I'm being honest with you. And then I realized my favorite things about myself have nothing to do with my physical appearance. So now, when I see myself, and I actually did this the other day, I look at myself in the mirror and I think of myself as resilient. And to be honest, it took 8 years and 2 cancer diagnoses in a meditation class to call myself resilient and to feel resilient. Now, when I'm like creaming myself and like doing my skincare routine, I just look at myself and I'm just like, you're so strong, like you're resilient, you're beautiful. And honestly, it sounds weird, but to make a ritual out of your skincare routine and just incorporate these positive affirmations, they, like, just recently, and I'm talking just recently, I've been doing this, and it has made a difference. My 19-year-old self, my 21-year-old self, I couldn't look at myself, you know, my eyebrows were sparse, my eyelashes were falling, my cheeks, I just didn't recognize myself, and I couldn't, like, to be honest, I couldn't see beauty in myself. I think reminding myself of everything I've been through and the fact that I'm here and I'm fine, I'm okay, like, I'm resilient, like, it really does make a difference for me. I urge you to take that moment and take a step and just reevaluate, you know, remind yourself, do those self-affirmations when you're doing your skincare routine. You are strong, you're beautiful, you are all these things that you love about yourself, so you don't feel the need to grasp outside of yourself. Everything's temporary. It's so cliche, but everything's temporary. Like, you will get through this and you will move on and you will look at the old picture of yourself and say, oh my goodness, I looked so good then. Why didn't I appreciate myself then? And I'm still struggling with that. If I'm being honest, it took 2 cancer diagnoses and I'm still struggling with that. I'm still struggling with appreciating the now and what I have right now. Practicing mindfulness, I'm trying to do that, and I'm trying to take a moment to just appreciate everything I have and everything I've been through, and the fact that I survived and I'm here, and you know, I have so much love around me, and there's so much more to be thankful for and so much more to worry about. So these little things that I'm stressing about, this blemish on my skin right here, like, doesn't mean anything right now, you know, that'll go away. I'm staying here, I'm here right now, and just take a moment to reflect on yourself and take a moment to take a breather and just remind yourself how thankful you should be and how thankful you are for everything that you have. My name is Marell Tomei. Feel what you feel and ride the wave.
Beautiful.